Stories. There are thousands of successful blogger stories. There are guys from Malaysia earning $3,000–4,000 a month. There are people from all over the world earning fairly large sums of money to some indecently large sums of money. I know bloggers in India from Delhi who are earning 6 digits in US dollars. Now that's an interesting thing because every single US dollar has got a 64 rupee multiplier. So there's a phenomenal amount of money coming in. And the sad part is, maybe all of us won't get 6 digits in US dollars, doesn't really matter. But if we can make $500 a month, every 3 months we can take a trip to Brazil, or we can take a trip to Kathmandu, or we can do what the heck we want. We can live what I call laptop lifestyle. What we really need to do is understand a couple of simple rules that can convert these site visitors to what we marketer guys. I'm not really a marketer, I'm a techie. Like him, I spent about 32 years in writing code. I still write code. I haven't given that up because that's my first love. At the end of the day, the marketers look at converting people who come to your website as leads. Now, the simple meaning of that is, when someone comes to your website, you should be in a position to engage with that human being a second time. The first time they came to your site, when I'm talking about engaging with that human being, it means you need to be in some kind of position where you can reach out and connect with that human being back. If you don't do that, you're leaving money on the table. Very simple. There's no rocket science about this sort of stuff. Maybe you got to sort your mind out a little bit, and I'll take a few questions at the end. So, fortunately for us, there are only 4 things that your website can use to engage people. First is copy. The copy basically is the English or the Hindi or the Marathi or the Kannada. I don't know whether you know this or not, but WordPress and a whole lot of other content management systems will allow you to deliver your website in a regional language. There's, in fact, if you're looking at foreign languages, there's Dutch, English, French, German, Greek, Italian, Japanese, Norwegian, Russian, Spanish that's built in. You've got a whole load, you've got Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Kannada, a whole load of stuff already built in. So there's no reason at all why you shouldn't be able to deliver your blog in a language that the site visitor understands. No reason at all. It's a little plugin you put it in, no tech skills required, and translation takes place. And the control, you can either leave it with the site visitor, or if you track the site visitor, you know the guy is basically a Gujarati, or you know the guy is basically from Hyderabad, deliver the blog in that. Because when you do that, you're engaging these guys. So the first thing is copy. Now a lot of people, when they look at copy, they simply look at writing sentences. And when they're writing sentences about what they have to deliver. Now there I think his point of view, very real. Don't write about what you've got to deliver, but write about how you can be of great help, of great value to the site visitor that's coming in. If you're writing a blog on cooking, then explain how there is a bunch of recipes for those who are absolutely inexperienced in cooking. You can produce dal, or you can produce patties, or you can produce samosas in 5 minutes or 10 minutes following your method. And the recipe is available, the video is available, all available for good. So hang a couple of carrots, talk to them, and that's where you write. Choose the right font, choose the right font size, and look at the sentences. Now the next bit is images. Human beings are visual animals. They are not copy animals. Which means that the images you choose and you put up on your website are probably about 40% to 50% more important than the copy you write. In fact, if you look at a very, very well-marketed site, or you look at a very well-created landing page or a home page, the copy is minimal. The copy is pretty to the point. The copy explains the value that the page or the website will bring the site visitor. The image is what holds the site visitor there long enough for the site visitor to actually read the copy that you placed. So your image becomes pretty important. Human beings being visual animals. The next bit are videos. Today every single laptop, even an i3, they've got a little camera in front. They've got speakers and stuff like that, and you can create your own videos. It may not be world-class videos, it may not win any awards at Cannes, but when you put it up in your website, it will visually communicate with the site visitor that's coming. Now there's a little trick in marketing that you guys need to remember. We all of us have at least 5 senses. Someone in the group who can tell me what the 5 senses are? Name one at least. Sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of touch, sense of taste, sense of hearing. Now the rule in marketing is, the greater the number of senses that you involve with the site visitor, the higher your chances of selling. Now when you look at copy and images, what is the sense of the site visitor that you are engaging? Only the sense of sight, nothing else. Now when you look at videos, you're engaging the sense of sight and the sense of hearing. So there is more than one sense that is being engaged with. That means you're simply multiplying your chances to sell. And believe me, with the kind of video software, video creation software that's available today, a lot of it available free, some of it available, I think the costlier software is about $300, $320, which is Camtasia. This is stuff I use. Most of the other software, video manipulation software is about $40, $50. And those of you who know the Bayross software, it's generally available free. But I didn't say that. I'm not the kind of guy that supports piracy, underline. The last bit is podcasts. If you don't like your face, you don't like your wife's face and your daughter's face or your friend's face, you don't want to put it up there, you don't want to sell them, hey, create podcasts. Because along with the copy and the image, which is stimulating your visitor's vision, your voice is stimulating the site visitor's hearing. Greater chances of selling. Now, the whole idea about this is not so much to engage the site visitors, but build trust. When you just look at the written copy and you look at the written image, you have absolutely no vision of the website owner, the guy selling the product or the guy selling the service. Whereas if you have a little video running there and it's your face, however ugly it is, I'm pretty ugly, and I sell it. You know, so anybody, all the handsome men and women, you should be selling it. You know, when you have their faces out there, you are building a degree of trust. People are connecting with you, and they're connecting with you at more than one level. And all of this gets, either to the first level, where the site visitor feels comfortable enough, or safe enough, to leave an email ID with you, or leave a name with you, so that you can go back over there and you can contact them, or says, hey, I want this, and he clicks, goes to your sales page, goes to PayPal, or goes wherever the heck they got to go and purchases the product or the service. So there are just 4 things that you can use on your site via which you can engage with. That's all we have. You don't have a hell of a lot. So it's not rocket science. Which means each of us have got to use whatever talent that we have at our disposal to get these 4 up to speed. We've got to be crystal clear about the kind of people coming to our site. Who are they? Where are they from? How many are male? How many are female? What is their age group? We've got, so how, the question that comes up is this one. How do you decide the perfect copy, the perfect image, the correct video, the right script for your video, the right script for your podcast? How do you decide this? Because if that goes wrong, you've lost your leads, you've lost your sales. So how do you decide this? Again, this is a pretty simple exercise. Nothing great. We use something that I call site visitor demographics. Big word. Anything above 5 characters is a big word for me. I'm basically dyslexic, by the way. If it wasn't Microsoft Word spell check, none of these slides honestly would be readable. So, great big help. So even a dyslexic guy can produce content, big deal. At the end of the day, my wife reads the content anyway. So I have an editor looking at it. So, these are the kind of things that now, one wonders, what has the age group got to do? Hey, where do you find it? These are the kind of thoughts that come in your head. What role has gender got to do with it? I don't know whether you guys are familiar with this or not, But there are sites on the internet where you can write a block of English, a paragraph of English, post it onto that site. And the site tells you whether that content has got a female bias or a male bias. Go into Google and search for it. There's more than one site. I use it regularly because the kind of marketing sentence that converts a female into a buyer and the kind of sentence that converts a male into a buyer are two different sentences. Which is why the Americans are making money in Vienna. And all of us are using English, mind you. The Goras are using English, and sometimes the English is 100 times worse than ours. So I have there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't get your act together, kind of thing. Yeah.
Can you name any of the websites, just for an example?
For a small fee, I share. Okay, sorry, I'm just kidding. At the end of the day, I'll give you the URLs. Or the other thing is, you get excited. Go into Google. Female English, female overtones, male overtones. There are like 5, 6, 7, 8 sites, And you'll be surprised. They'll tell you how to correct your sentence. And when you write your sentence, try it out. If you have a wife and a daughter or anything like that, girlfriend perhaps? Wife and a couple of girlfriends perhaps? No? Just asking. Come on. So when you write 2 sentences and then show them, say which one would you react to, and then take a call. You'll have an informed business decision. That's what I keep doing anyway. It's cheaper to use family than marital status. Your site visitor, is he married or is she married or is she not? Why are we interested in this? Hey, you're selling something, okay? Anyone who's married has got greater responsibilities. Greater responsibilities automatically means less money in the bank. I don't know whether you guys have figured out, I figured this out long time ago. I've been married to the same woman for about 42 years. And I'm still figuring out this business about money. I keep wondering where the money I generate disappears to. It has a magic way of disappearing. But hey, who's complaining? You're having fun. But you need to figure out whether the site visitor is married or not, because that will have an impact on how you price your product and how you price your service. Like the gentleman there was talking about, there's a sales funnel. You draw people in by selling a product that's about $9.99. I do that. You upsell in that to maybe $19.99. And if anybody commits to a $19.99 product, you upsell to a $50 product, $49.99 product. I'm just giving you a linear. And if anyone at all buys a $50 product for you, those guys are open to consulting. And I sell it at more than $1,000 US. And so what you got to understand, you'll have 100 people buying a $99 product. You'll have 20 people buying a $20 product. You'll have 5 people buying a $40 product. You'll have 2 people buying a $1,000 product. That is the chain. That's how your funnel normally works. For those of you guys who are interested in looking at marketing funnels, are very, very tricky little animals in digital. Because the conventional marketing funnel, big mouth at the top, small mouth at the bottom, is absolutely wrong. It doesn't work like that in digital marketing. If you spend a few minutes thinking, the marketing funnel is inverted. The big mouth is down, the funnel is on top. And that is because today, the marketplace is very well educated. Whenever they see a product or a service, the first thing that they do is they go to social media and they'll try and find out what other people are saying about your product or service. They go on to the internet and find out whether other sites are selling the same product or service cheaper. And then they'll do a whole lot of research before they buy a product or service. So today, people are looking for reasons to fall out of the marketing funnel rather than actually climb the marketing funnel. So you guys need to be a little careful about the copy, the video, the podcast, the image. Very, very crucial. Now, academics. Is the guy a graduate? Yes.
Just a quick question. You just said this time people were open for consulting.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat that particular?
That little bit. When you look at a buying funnel, when you have someone coming to you, when I have someone, let me make this personal, okay? When I have someone coming to my site and buying something at $9.99 from me, I'm not excited at all. It just shows that, okay, something in marketing is working. I look at the number of people buying $9.99. If there are 5 people buying $9.99, I have a serious problem. It's going to fund nothing. It won't even fund my monthly hosting cost. So I've got to have about 50 to 100 odd people buying a $9.99 product. Now when they buy it, I will engage with them. I'll give them videos to download, I'll run a webinar for them once, a tech webinar or a blogging webinar once a month, and engage with them. And at that time, I will upsell. That means I'll offer them a product or service that's $20. So I'll jump from 10 to 20. I'll jump from 20 to 40. Now as you jump upwards, the number of people that sign on will decrease. Those who sign on and purchase a $50 product or a $100 product, they're wide open to consulting. So then you go to the guy, you search the guy, you go to LinkedIn, find out a whole lot of stuff about him. You'll see that in a few slides a little later. Then you go to the guy or that lady or whoever the service and you say, hey, this is how I can deal with your pain. I know you're hurting in all these areas. These are the skill sets I have, and I can sell you a monthly consultancy, and this is my fees. Like for example, I have a mentor called Yaro Stark, Y-A-R-O-S-T-A-R-A-K. Okay, this guy is basically an Australian living in Canada, and he's a young guy. He's about your age and mine. I'm 65 years old, by the way, just in case you guys were wondering. Let me out there in the open. So this guy's half my age. He's about 30, 35, 40 years old, and he's an internet mentor, and I pay him about $1,600 for mentoring. And he gives me the kind of information that I actually need. So opportunities are available. I don't say that you will get a lot of Indian companies that will buy your mentoring services, but you will pick up Gora companies that can afford to buy it. And if you pitch it right and your price is right, you'll make the money. You got to get your first guy, then you get the belief in yourself. Then selling it is not a big deal here. It self-sells. Did I answer your question or did I go all over? I tend to wander. Right. So academics, your academics determine your copy. Your academics will determine your image. Your academics will determine your script of your video. If you're writing to 12 standard students, your copy will be different. If you're writing to postgraduates, your copy must be different. It's definitely not a one size fits all. If you have a one size fits all, you will see the results. You've got nothing, next to nothing in your bank account. So figure these out. Now, work experience, are the guys working? Financial liabilities. Have the guys picked up a loan and recently got married, bought a house? All of these will determine whether the guy, when you chase someone, when you engage with someone, I suggest you don't generalize. That means you don't chase everybody that comes and becomes a lead. You search through that lead. You go onto social media, you look at what they are posting, you look at a whole load of stuff, and then you chase those leads that can translate to money. So you will be able to figure that out. Academics and all. Financial liabilities will be available in a combination between Facebook and LinkedIn. Look at the Facebook posts, the wife will say, we just bought a 2-bedroom place in Burgli or in Kafpre. Kafpre chalsa. $1,000. They got 5 crore flat. Who cares? Yeah, I'm just giving you kind of input that you need to look at. So you will get hundreds of leads. You will generally follow them up using a standard newsletter. But when you want to start milking that group for money, you need to be clever about it. You need to figure out which are your best leads. You need to do a bit of homework. You need to engage with those leads. Invite them only for a webinar, which is absolutely free, like the gentleman has done in this particular case. Stuff like that. Geolocation is just address. For guys signing on from Kalwa and Kalyan or something like that, I seriously doubt he'll buy a $9 product. He'll pick up a whole lot of free tutorials and stuff like that, and he's a potential, but he's not a $9. He's not even a $9 product. Now this might sound arrogant. It's not arrogant. It's the basics of marketing. Every guy who's done his MBA in marketing understands what we call the primary marketing domain, the primary customers. And the marketing, I don't know whether you realize it or not, marketing is the only department that brings money to a company. Every other department in the company is cost accounted. So the marketers have to use their body at the end of the day. If they don't, your salaries are not coming through. So there's a whole lot of thought that goes into it. Geolocation, browser use. Hey, if somebody's coming to your site with IE7, for God's sake, don't even reply to that guy. He's not, yes.
How much of this data do you collect automatically and how much do you research manually?
About 50% of this data is available. I generate automatically using tools, several tools, and 50% is the mehnat, 2 hours a day, 6 days a week, where I spend time myself. And I don't have, there's just a lady called Meher, Mala and myself. They just two of us who are working on any of my projects. So there's a lot of mehnat, but the thing is that I have fun. The day I find that it's not fun, I'll give it. So the issue then comes up is where are visitors' demographics obtained from and how do you validate them? Now there are two sides to this question. If you're this website owner and you're writing the copy and you're writing the videos and all that, then you better know your website demographics. If you're a digital marketer and you're doing this sort of job for someone else, then you will talk to the website owner, isn't it? So you'll have to get it from somewhere. Now when you get site visitor demographics, you will hear some amazing stuff thrown to you by a website owner. So 3 people, the business owner, which could be you, Google Analytics and social media. So basically you will pick up your demographics from the guy who knows his business. He'll tell you what kind male, female people are buying, what age group. He's got history, so many years of selling the product and stuff, you know. And you will hear some awesome stuff. Everybody from a newborn baby that's just been delivered to a 90-year-old guy dawdling around with his video, okay, this is customer. That's what the business owner will tell you. That's because this product to him is awesomely wonderful. And that's not true. There is a rule in marketing that says when everyone is your customer, no one is your customer. Take a look at your bank account. If there's nothing in your bank account, then that rule is true. So you've got to figure out when someone gives you demographics, this age group, this browser, there should be a way that you can validate it. Now, how do you validate it? I do a lot of validation using 2 areas, Google Analytics and social media. Social media streams like Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+, these are the social streams I look at. There are certain social streams that I don't look at regularly, like Pinterest, for example. If you look at the statistics of Pinterest that are available in the public domain, Pinterest is populated by white females that are between 28 years and 45. Now, if your product or services are for females between 28 years and 45, hey, then you go search in Instagram. I don't deliver any products like that. So I just don't bother about Instagram. So when you're looking at social media, look at social media intelligently. Figure out which social media streams your people hang out on, and then they can use them. So these are the areas, and when all this is there, I document all this. You'll see it as we go along. I then, based on that gyan, I decide on what is going to be the copy, how I will write sentences, what pictures I'll pick up, how I will tell my graphics person, this is the image I want, so on and so forth. This determines the videos I'll create, which videos I'll create professionally, which videos I'll create with my laptop, blah, blah, blah. And it also determines the kind of podcasts that I will create. So all of this is not arbitrary. It's based on statistics. It might look arbitrary, but it's based on statistics. That's when conversions begin. That's when leads start coming in, and that's when money starts coming into your bank. Sales happen. So maximum conversions kind of occur here, where you've got the right blend of copy, images, videos, and your site visit demographics. So it's pretty narrow when you look at it. That means if you translate that, if you have 5,000 visitors coming to your website, you will probably not have more than 50 to 100 that actually convert. If you look at statistics today, it's pretty scary. If you haven't taken care of the copy, if you haven't taken care of your website, you will not have more than a 3% conversion rate, which is scary because if you need 300 or 400 people, you then have to have 30, 40,000 people coming to your site before you can convert your 200-300 people. So all of this becomes a little tricky. But once you get stuck in it and you begin to see patterns in the people that are coming, you can begin to tweak your sentences, cut down words, reduce the number of sentences, add in another sentence, stuff like that. So now the question arises, what should you do? When you get these demographics, what do? I'll tell you what I do. You create what I call a customer persona, or you create what I call a reader's persona, whatever you want to create. It's a persona. Now let's figure out what persona is. It's a fictional representation of your ideal customer. You know what age group they are. You figure out whether they are single or married. You figure out whether they have kids. You figure out whether they've got a whole lot of debt, no debt. You figure out whether they are graduates, undergraduates. You've got all that kind of information. Why do you do this? It helps you understand your site visitor intimately. It really helps you understand that. And once you understand your site visitor intimately, it's pretty simple to actually write the right kind, or the kind of sentences that engage with the guy that comes or the lady that's coming to your site. Now, based on your customer persona, it's pretty easy to craft perfect content. Now, why is this? You know, when you're looking at a persona, you're looking at one single bit of information. You're looking at your ideal customer. You've got the broad age group, academics, all this kind of thing. And it's a whole lot easier to create content when you've got one single focus in mind than when you're trying to think about, hey, I'm writing for Bengalis, I'm writing for people from Chennai, I'm writing for people from Hyderabad, I'm writing for the Punjabi, and I'm trying to write a sentence that makes the same kind of understanding to all four animals. That's right. That's the stuff stories are made of. But when you have your customer clearly laid out, you will suddenly find, as you start thinking like this and you start changing the content on your site, you will see the effect. You will see your bounce rate will come down, which means people are coming and staying on your site. You will see your leads generation. People are willingly leaving their email IDs and stuff behind. You will see that happening. And then you'll know, hey, I've gone along a journey. It's not an easy walk. I have to put some effort into it. But hey, I'm headed in the right direction. And customer personas come out of market research, insights gathered. Now, this is an ideal place for Cuelinks. I don't know, you probably filled up a form. He's gathering customer demographics and he's going to create a persona. At least he should. If I was in issues, I would. Shamelessly, I mean, you're in business, yeah? We do this to generate money, maybe put it in the bank, or do whatever the hell you want to do. So there are various ways that you can contact, you can get to know people. What I normally do is when I get a juicy kind of person who's left, let's say a brilliant comment. Some of the blog posts I have 100 comments, 90 comments. This indicates engagement in blog posts. If you look at some of the blog posts I've written, not all of the blog posts, but some I get huge number of and intelligent comments. Not one line comments, a fantastic blog post. I mean, that's a pain in the tush. Guys are talking about why they like your stuff, guys are talking about why they don't like your stuff, all sorts of stuff like that. And from them, you get your juicy customers. I invite them for a Skype chat. I'll get up late in the night, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, because that's the time when, 12-hour difference between UK, Europe and India. UK not so bad. Afternoon is early morning. 3, 4 o'clock will be about 10 o'clock in the morning. So UK is easy to handle. A bit of Europe is easy to handle. Now why am I talking about these areas? I mean no disrespect to anybody. We are all Indians, I am Indian and I am proud of it. Money is there with the Goras. Simple. I've got nothing against anybody else. Anybody else who wants to come and pay me $1,000 equivalent in Indian rupees, I'll take it. It's money in the bank. I don't have it. But those are the guys who have the money to pay. So you have to look at this. Your life changes a little bit because you're getting up late in the night and you're faffing around, and your wife's getting up at about 3 in the morning and saying, "What the hell are you doing? Go back to sleep." I'm talking with someone on Skype. Stuff like that. So interaction. I invite people. I talk to people. I send them emails. I'm not interested in business. I'm interested first in becoming a friend. Someone the guy trusts. He says, hey, this guy's technical capabilities are sound. This guy's marketing capabilities are sound. Then it goes to the next level. And 99.9% of the time, say 90% of the time, let me not get cocky, they initiate the upsell. can you help me with this? Sure, that's what I've been waiting for all my life. You don't tell them. If you do that, you're dead in the water. So, how is it customer persona created? Again, go into Google, customer persona templates. There are millions of templates that are available. I use a template. This is the template I use. There was a lady that we were trying to sell something to. She was the head of an HR department. So I'm just giving you a brief insight into the kind of information I collected. Very carefully researched the lady, Meenakshi Jain. I have permission to use her name. I figured out she was head of human resources. I figured out all this nonsense. Now this side is the important bit. This part is the important. This is what I call the pointer to the information you need to grab. So when you're researching someone, you need to figure out the kind of job they have, the kind of career path they've got, the kind of family they are with, and I figured out all of this. I knew which school the kid went to. I mean, all this kind of thing. You go to Facebook. I mean, it's ridiculous, the kind of personal information that's ridiculous. But it's there. So it's a little tricky to go and search. There's some tools that allow you to do that. The other is Meena. I figured out this. I figured out her income because I knew where she was working. I knew the rank she was at. Again, you have Bombay Management. You have a number of websites which will give you a ballpark salary for a particular rank. You know what we call the market support salary, you get it. It's available in public domain. You're not breaking any rules. I figured out this was the kind of money she had, and then I figured out she had a suburban house. Now that automatically put her in a certain bracket. I keep paying attention to the keys. These are what you need to do. I figured out what her primary goals were, what her secondary goals were, what her challenges were. A lot of this from public domain, and a part of this in simply picking up the phone and talking to her. Hi, how are you doing? I'm Ivan. This is it. You came in. This is the kind of comment you left, and from the comment I kind of feel this is your pain point. I have a whole lot of customers who have exactly the same pain point. How are you dealing with it? Never offer a customer solution. Ask this customer to talk about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. That's when I figured out she had 2 kids, that's every 8 years, 10 years. I also have a kid, she's 33 years old, she works from an MNC, blah, blah, blah. Now when I want money, I go to my daughter. I'm retired, man. Give me a break here. If she's working as a week in a multinational, she's got money, I just 50,000 give me. I buy my ticket, buy my wife's ticket, we're going abroad. And she does it. I'm cool. So study all of this. And then eventually, this is what I do. I create a document. I just presented it in this. I create a document like this. I look at her background, demographics, identifiers, goals. These people are in the $1,000 US, $1,500 US month consultancy range. So those guys, I do a whole lot of real work on. I wouldn't mind inviting them out to dinner at a good 5-star restaurant, sit down, watch very carefully what alcohol they're drinking. I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I'm pretty cool from that perspective. But I watch and I learn. And in most of these cases, I just keep my mouth shut. Here, I've been asked to start speaking. Otherwise, I love to engage with people, individuals, sit down, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Because that is what educates me. And at the end of the day, that's the game I'm in. So I create a document like this. It doesn't really look like this. It looks like a word file, but I just presented it to you so that you guys remember I'm trying to engage with you. And I'm using your eyes, and I'm using animation. I'm using all the tricks that I told you I'd use. So nothing special. Absolutely down to earth stuff. So at the end of the day, your copy, image, text, your video, what must it deliver? There must be one singular thing that it will deliver to your site visitor. That's important. It must deliver what I call a value proposition to your site visitor. Now let's understand this term value proposition. How many guys in the group are hardcore marketing people? Any guys in the group? MBA marketing, BMS, BMM. You are from?
I'm from the pharma industry.
Okay, but in
MBA
marketing. Anybody else? One single marketer. Interesting. How many guys in the group are hardcore techies who write PHP code, JavaScript code, WordPress? What are the rest of the guys doing? They had to look at my face. Wow, I never knew I was that attractive. Yeah? See, it's a very diverse kind of group. So there may be certain terms that you're not familiar with. If there's something that really puzzles you, you need to not worry about what the person next to you is thinking. Just ask. I'll answer. If I know the answer, I promise you I'll answer. So, your copy, your images, your videos, and your podcast, they have one single job. Just go and focus. Deliver a value proposition to the guys who come to your website. Now let's figure out what a value proposition is. This is where marketing bit comes in. A value proposition is basically web content. Content means any of the four, or any combination of four. That drives your site visitor's perception of a promise of value. You see, this is what marketing is all about. It means that your sentence must be pure BS. That's what it means. Pure bullshit. It must trigger the user's, site visitor's perception of a promise of value. If you look at marketing, it means nothing. You know, they say the only guy today, it's a really sad little poor joke, the only guy who's respected today is the panwala. Because he says, chuna lagao. So, you use that funda and connect it to this. I mean, if you can't trigger perception or promise of value, hey, you're not going to sell anything. The person that comes to your website who's willing to spend $20, $30, they must believe that you've got something worth buying. So that's the issue of the perception. And I think all marketers love this. Because primarily, when I get some challenges to create landing pages for services and products, I don't believe in the service and product myself here. And I've got to write this down. It's hilarious. I mean, here's another lady from Farmers. She's probably selling a whole load of paracetamol tablets with chura inside. You know, she's selling it, you know. People are buying the damn thing. That's marketing for you. Anyway, let's not go down that road. Now, where does the promise of value come? It comes from the products and services available from the website. And now you've got to figure out how is this promise delivered. It's delivered by the copy you write. It's delivered by your images. It's delivered by your videos. And it's delivered by your podcasts. And now you're looking at site visitor engagement. When you're delivering the promise of value only through copy, no more than 20-25% of your site visitors will get engaged. When you're delivering it using images, you land on a home page, you might find just a big picture with 2 lines of text on it and a call to action. So many sites are there. We'll be coming to that. If you're delivering it via videos, you have an 80-85% level of engagement. And you're delivering the podcast, it's about 45%. None of these percentages are even Bayross's percentages. These are all available in public domain. There are several authority sites that talk about how you need to engage with the site visitors, how you need to convert them to paying customers and stuff like that. So I keep reading that stuff. And these are the numbers I picked up from there. And if you look at the kind of lead to paying customer conversions and stuff like that you get, they're pretty darn close. It may not be spot on for your website, but it'll be pretty darn close. So, this brings us to the idea of what's the structure of a value proposition? Is it something that you need an IQ of 300 plus? In which case we're all dead in the water because I have an IQ of about -9. I just about scraped through college and stuff like that. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You need a headline. This is what we call an arrestor. You need an image with a subheadline. You need a paragraph of text, perhaps 2 lines or 3 lines. No more than 3 lines. If it's going into the 4th line, your kicker, your paragraph is wrong. Rewrite it and rewrite it and rewrite it till you get it down to 3 lines. If you can get it down to 2, terrific. And finally, you're going to have a call to action. Now, you'll have a whole lot of other content on your page. You'll have paragraphs, you'll have images, something like that, and somewhere in the middle or wherever you want it, you will have this value proposition delivered. And when you're delivering a value proposition, you need to know that this is its structure. It's not rocket science. 4 things that you need to worry about. How well you write the headline. The headline must actually stop a reader in their tracks. The image must hold them for a couple of seconds, long enough to get involved with the paragraph of text. And what does the paragraph of text do? Through 2 or 3 lines. It triggers what we call an impulse. Let's click this. You won. Because when you click it, your form pops up. You ask for a name. 99.9% if they reach the stage of clicking the call to action, they'll give you the rest of the stuff. Well, okay, there will be 3-4% that don't do that, but that's marketing. You're not putting in the model. So remember, this is not the only content on the page. This is a part of the content of your page. This is the part that actually is responsible for converting site visitors to leads or converting site visitors to paying customers. This is the part. And if you don't have anything like this on your website or your blog site or your home page, man, your bank account is going to be empty. Your husband or your wife or whoever it is, in my case now my daughter, will be funding your hosting, will be paying for the guys, and all you'll be doing is writing blog posts. Big deal. I mean, where does that get you? I mean, no disrespect to the bloggers here. So, let's take a look at example. This is an example of MailChimp. Buried inside some content which says this is what MailChimp delivers. It's quite a long page. You'll find this thing right at the top. We'll talk about easy email newsletters. This is your headline. Look at the font size. Look at how it captures you visually. Look at the fact that the button is supposedly red. Okay? And sign up, and there is a magic word there. Everybody loves that word. Yeah, click, bingo, and the guy's got you. So if you look at this, and you can't read this, but this is the 2 or 3 lines of rather interesting text that tells you what MailChimp is. Now, anybody who's actually landed on MailChimp is a focused site visitor. Nobody just goes to MailChimp for fun. You go there because you have a need to use an internet mail service provider. MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of these journeys. You go there because you want to be there. And this guy converts. It converts marvelously. Let's look at another. This is an example of Evernote. I don't know whether you guys are familiar with it. It's an editor. Almost everybody uses it. I have it on my mobile. I have it on my laptop. I have it on my tablet. One single product. It allows me to synchronize and they do almost everything. If you look at what it does here, office proposal, checklist, blah, 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 everything in one. And again, it's sign up and it's remarkably modestly priced. Yes?
Can you repeat the name of the site or the product?
This product, Evernote. E-V-E-R-N-O-T, Evernote. Here's another example, interesting enough. Uber. Now this is a terrific value proposition. I don't know whether you realize it or not, but the upper section of this talks about value proposition to another marketplace, and this section talks about another marketplace. There are 2 different marketplaces being addressed.
Actual drivers who want to drive
Yes. These are the guys who want to make money. They've got a car. They want to drive for Uber. They're the guys who come in there. And the rest of the guys like you and me who use Uber, and we call them and you go buy air-conditioned cars here, there and everywhere. So this is an excellent example of how you can create a value proposition. and actually point to two different marketplaces. Now the trick in this is, Uber is known to have two different marketplaces. Otherwise, it's criminal to try to have two different values. Criminal. Somebody who does that consistently in marketing is either someone who's got his head screwed on right, or someone unmitigated idiot. So this is the two opposite ends of the scale. But there's no in between. There's no shades of grey. Either you know what the hell you're doing, and you can do something like this for Uber, or you're a dope. At the end of the day, you're paying. Unless you're a marketer yourself, you're paying somebody to create stuff like this. I have absolutely no reservation paying 5,000, 10,000 bucks for copywriters from, let's say, Xavier XIC, Xavier Institute of Communication near Churchgate, or somebody from TISS. I have absolutely no reservations paying them maybe a 5,000 rupee monthly retainer where I send them some content and say, hey, criticize this and send it back to me. Eventually it will be my call. But I use not a lot of people, one or two people like this that I run certain key campaigns past and then use it for my own site. I don't, So, this is another interesting thing. This is come. Netflix is available in India. If you're being screwed over by your cable wala or your Videocon DTH or your whatever channel you're using, they're really screwing. Netflix is screwing you over as well. But we won't get into that. This is their value proposition. Simple sentence. See what's next. And then the magic words. Join free for a month. So most people say, एक महीने के picture देखेगा, mobile पे देखेंगे. When I take a train from Virar to Churchgate, I'll watch one whole movie in the very train. And that his hook is in. And then if you are already a member, there's this little sign up button. Yes?
Would you agree that the main headline, see what's next, is a little vague because Netflix is a well-known brand, they can pull it off. Otherwise, any other brand who is not well-known have to have a more detailed headline there.
See, a lot of people realize that Netflix is giving you access to video programs and full-length movies. Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Bhojpuri, whatever. And TV programs that are not normally your AXN and stuff like that, they're not normally delivered by them. Now, there is an issue with that. It's not sorted yet by Netflix, so I don't recommend you rushing out and buying a subscription. They are in litigation with someone. Let that get sorted. And a whole load of video programs TV programs, TV serials that I want to watch will now be available. At $800, I'll spend it. I have got several pipes in the house, internet pipes coming to the house. I spend a fairly large sum of money on internet pipes because in case one pipe fails, I need another one. So apart from the Airtel dongles, the 4G dongles that I use, which I carry around from here, I think somewhere it was. Probably in my bag. I have, let's say, two Airtel dongles, and I have actually purchased 30 GB on each dongle. So I pay more than India. I've got 60 GB coming in on two dongles. I've got 290 GB on one pipe, and I've got about 700 GB on another pipe. And they give me good bandwidth because I'm working with American clients. I can log into their servers, I can make changes, I can do a whole lot of stuff. So I need that kind of bandwidth. So I sit and watch Netflix. I sit and watch movies, and I use a little Microsoft dongle and wirelessly send it across to my TV and I watch. My wife's happy with it, I'm happy with it. I see serials that others don't see. And no bullshit. So, the whole idea is great picture. This is what triggers this little belief. Hey, family, husband, wife, kiddie, all watching television. Click. So remember I told you about the image and the copy. These are all driven by overall understanding your site visitor psychology, site visitor physiology, stuff like that. Okay, here's another one which is for create your website for free. This is WordPress.org. You can go create your WordPress website there. And right underneath that, create site. I tell you at least 60% of the people that land on the site will click this button. because it's so well done. The subtle, you can't see it too well. This is this huge crowd of people, and this is a band. This is a band playing here. This is what communicates what bloggers do. The bloggers being these guys there. let's correct that sentence. The bloggers earning a ton of money are these guys there. Just kidding. And this is your audience, your potential customers, your site visitors and stuff. It's all subtly done, and coloring is nice. A lot of people click it. So just to recap, there are 6 simple rules for multiplying your income. The first one you must always remember is your website must deliver income. If your website is not delivering income, stop it, shut it down. I tell you very seriously, if you look at, let's say a simple virtual private server, it will be about $55 per month, to host your site there. And trust me, the American doesn't want to wait for 60 seconds before his page loads. And if you're going to pull $100 from him, I'll put it on rupees. So $50 multiplied by 12. How much is that? Anybody? $600. 600 multiplied by 50. That's about about 38,000 a month. Now you can take 38,000 a month and put it into mutual funds. I'm not kidding you. And you can get a return of about 20%. 18 to 20% conservative if you've got a good financial advisor. I myself see returns in terms of 26, 27%. I've got a guy that actually does the work for me. Now, don't look at 35,000 for 1 year. Assume that you've kept the site going for 5 years. I've been on the internet. Even Bayross.com has been on the internet for about, I think, 28 years. That's the reason I put out a lot of money. I put out in lakhs actually, post-acquisition. When you multiply it out, you have a chunk of money that you can put into stock and mutual funds, and you can make a return. And after a period of 8 or 10 years, if you're not touching that money, due to compounded interest, it will become a substantial sum of money. So if your website's getting you nothing, rethink what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, money drives everything. Commerce drives everything. The second thing, you need to drive focused site visitors to your website. Now, to drive focused site visitors to your website, you need to understand a little bit about digital marketing. You need to understand what are the social media channels that what are the social media groups that your ideal blog readers or your customers are on. Facebook has thousands and thousands of groups. LinkedIn has got thousands also, Google Plus. Be a little careful when choosing your groups because a lot of the groups, 60% or 70% of the posts are pure spam. And worse, on some of those groups, a good 30% or 40% of those posts are pure pornographic. So when you're choosing your posts to acquire customers, focused site visitors, because you want to eventually drive money or derive money from them, be careful of the groups that you're signing on to put your content in. Now, when you join a group, one of the biggest mistakes that I keep noticing is everybody is selling. Don't do that. When you join a group, read a little about the group, figure out what the drivers of the group is, or what the drivers of the group are, if you like. Are they largely digital marketer guys? Are they largely WordPress people? Are they largely PHP programmers? Because people gather together in a group based on some common cause, and add value to the group. There is something called the 90-10 rule. 90% of the posts that you make on a group should add value to that group. 10% of those posts can be marketing. Start posting blog post excerpts to the groups, pick up images, put in a headline, do a whole lot of data to drive the right guys. Hey, at the end of the day, if they come to your website and your bounce rate is 96%, look at Google Analytics. all that effort is coming to zero. So look at your website content. There are a couple of key pages. Your About Us page is a key page for those who want to jot stuff down. If you look at 80% or 90% of the Indian websites About Us page, they are in one word, pathetic. A Gora comes to your About Us page because he wants to find out who you are, where you are from, what you look like, what clothes you wear, where were you educated. So he wants to get a couple of personal stuff. You need not put all of that in your About Us page. You can simply give a Facebook URL there and let that guy go to Facebook and check you out if he wants to. You could also write a little bit of personal stuff. You must have a picture there because human beings relate to other human beings by looking. Now, there is this little issue. Some people have Aishwarya Rai's picture there. Somebody's got Britney Spears pictures there, with clothes, without clothes. I mean, on an About Us page. Give me a break. I mean, nobody's going to take that page, About Us page seriously. You know? So, the About Us page is a very important page. Your home page. I think the page that has the highest importance will be your landing page. I wonder, all of us guys are bloggers, I don't know whether you guys are actually selling any stuff or not. How many people in the audience understand the difference between any page on your website and a landing page? You do? Great, terrific. Oh, terrific. Wow. Can you tell us, ma'am?
So giving my example, I am a travel blogger and I have a travel website. So my website has like 5 pages. So the landing page has all the posts and then I have divided them other into wildlife, food, culture and About Us page. But one page I choose as my landing page.
Terrific. Somebody else? Somebody opinion? Yeah, let's take your opinion.
I think regular posts or regular pages on website can be for any purposes, for producing content, showing content, but landing page has to be defined as a page that compels the user to take singular action. Maybe sign up, maybe email newsletter, maybe sales page.
Big difference between what this lady said and what this gentleman said. Pay attention. Somebody else who's there. Well, let's take the gentleman's opinion at the back. There's a lot of wisdom and knowledge in here. Could you give us your opinion of the landing page, please?
In fact, I don't have a blogger page, but it's a regular website for an educational institute, the business which I was having till 1.5 years back. It was basically basic information about the company and links for all other pages. So that if you read the first page, you know what we do, and if that interests you, like something which is said, key first line, the paragraph and the picture, they should say the thing.
Thanks. Now I'll give you my version. Somebody over here wants to share, who wanted to share about, somebody here put up your hand? Anybody? You did? You'd like to share? Oh, sorry, apologies. He's sharing about a landing page.
Well, in my opinion, a landing page should have a clear call to action.
Okay. A clear call to action. Fairly supportive. Now, for those of you interested, you start jotting down because I've got a radically different opinion of what a landing page is. And you can always verify this. It's not Ivy Bayross's version of a landing page. It's the international standard of a landing page. If you look at all the pages on your website, they will have what we call menu items. Something or link, something that you can click via which you can navigate away from the page. There must be one page on your website which has no menu items, no links. If the site visitor lands on that page, they have one of two things: either hit the back button on the browser or key in a URL and navigate somewhere else. So the difference between a landing page and any other page is that the person who comes onto a landing page is locked to the landing page. They can't go anywhere unless they take some kind of action. So your value proposition, your conversion, your picture, all that will generally be written on that landing page. So the guy will go to the About Us, they look at it, he'll go to your home page, he faff around, he'll go to your blog, your main page where all your blog posts are there. I blog extensively. Well, it's simply an offshoot of what I do as a writer. I've been writing for about 30 years. and I have a landing page. It's got nothing to do with my blog posts. It's got nothing here. I just sell my services, and on that landing page, I will have my value proposition clearly defined. Sign on to know the latest costs of going on a travel to such and such place, or sign on to my blog for this, and show what value you can give people when they sign on. If they just land on your blog post page, they're landing on your blog post page. Why would they be biased into signing on? They don't have a reason to sign on. So the essential difference between a landing page and any other page is you lock the site visitor to that page and you pray like hell that the copy, the images, the videos and the podcasts deliver a value proposition that that gets you what you want, conversion to a lead or conversion to a paying customer. You need to know your site visitors' demographics intimately. Without knowing them intimately, you're just faffing. I know a lot of bloggers, me first. Okay, I'm a blogger, me first. Who just write. I reached the level in my life that I write because I want to write. I mean, I have my own niche reputation in the tech world. I'm the only Indian in the entire planet that's written a 2,000-page book on PHP. I'm the only Indian who's written a 2,000-page book on MySQL. I'm a hardcore techie, and I learned marketing and self-defense because techies are basically cost to company, and I should run a company. I owned a company, and a pretty successful one as well. And marketing people used to speak a language that I just didn't understand. So what the hell is this bucket of value proposition? I look at the value I'm giving. How the heck can that other idiot understand that I'm giving? And then then I started learning marketing. And for the last 18 or 19 years, I've been into both. But if you gave me a choice, I'd work in the marketing space, the digital marketing space. I consult in the digital marketing space for various US clients and a few SMEs in India. And that's where I like to be, and I can build. I can write PHP, I can write, what the hell, JavaScript, HTML5, no big deal. Something that I do for a living. So, know your web demographics and create a site business persona. And finally, after you've got all this under your belt, that is the time you start writing your copy, you start creating your images. Now, a lot of people create websites in a completely arbitrary fashion. They go to some kiddie who is fresh out of design school or, BSc IT and say, hey, use WordPress, build me a 5-page website. I need home, about us, contact us, disclaimer, privacy policy. And this guy says, yeah, sure. How much do you charge? The bug has never heard what a disclaimer is, what a privacy policy is. I'll charge you $6,000. No, 6,000 is too much. Your friend who is your neighbor is charging me 5,000. Okay, I'll give you 5,000. So that's normally how the transaction takes place. The end result of that is your website or blog site runs you zero. So there's a whole load of effort that you need to put in. You need to understand what your products and services are. If you've got let's say a travel website, you need to figure out whether you have a service or a product that you could sell. By the way, my mentor Bayross Stark, he's got a YouTube channel called Bayross Stark. There was an Australian that went to Europe for a skiing holiday, and he enjoyed the holiday, he enjoyed the resort, he enjoyed the slopes. He came back to Australia. And he started a travel blog. And the only thing that he blogs about is skiing and that particular resort. So on his blog site, you can book rooms in that resort. You can book training on that resort. You can do a whole lot of things on that resort. And he earns money from two different ways. On the resort, you can pay. The other is for inside information. You have to register on the site and pay him a small fee. So he gets money from two different places. So if you think that whatever the heck you're looking at, however meager, whatever you're looking at, use always a way to spin it and make money. If there's zero, look at affiliate marketing. There are other people with fantastic products and services. Sell theirs and you'll get some money. But all of them.
I have a question about making personas. How detailed or how segmented can you go? Because sometimes you have products that you sell to maybe 18-year-olds to 45-year-olds. So how do you segment and how do you decide what age group do you decide to, or maybe male, female, different landing pages? How does this process?
Sure. got products like that, you will never make the mistake of having one page that sells to all of them. So you'll have a bunch of pages, each focused on a segment of your primary market.
How do you decide the segments? Maybe you segment
For
by
a
age.
small fee, yeah. Shit, I'm here to make money, man. See, you look at your product, you find out what marketplace that product addresses. And then you work backwards and say, okay, fine, an 18 to 22-year-old will buy this product. Then, okay, this product will fit a 28 to 35-year-old. So you do your first broad segmentation, maybe on age. If you don't want to do it on that, you can do segmentation on money. This product can be afforded by this group. This product can be. Once you've got the basis, then you do your research and.
Depends on product.
Yeah, depend on product. It will depend on your USPs. What the product, the value of the product. That sort of stuff. You know, rocket science here. By the way, a lot of this stuff, how do you segment, is available on what I call authority blog sites.
HubSpot is a big authority.
HubSpot is a big guy. Neil Patel is a nice, interesting. Neil Patel's university is a nice, interesting stuff the guy throws out there. Whether you can use it or not use it is secondary. But once Gyan goes in, you can leverage it sometime on the other. Once you do that, I make you a promise that you'll skyrocket sales and you will multiply your income. You'll see changes happening. You'll see the number of people coming to your site will jump. The number of people registering your site will jump. Your bounce rate will become 30-40%. If I could open my laptop, I'd show you my bounce rate is about 30%. Okay, this is ego talking, but bounce rate of 30% is awesome. The guys are staying on the site. They're staying on the site. God knows for what. Maybe my personality, but we should not discuss that here. They're staying there. There's good stuff given to them, and then conversion is just a step away. Which brings us to the end. Thank you for the patience that you've shown listening to me. I had about an hour or hour and a half. I hope I have not kind of stretched it. Thank you for the patience. I'm willing. Can I take a couple of questions or time?
Yeah, sure.
Fine. If you've got any questions, yes, ma'am.
So you spoke about being a different language.
Yeah.
So I use Weebly to make my website. It's a blog. So Weebly doesn't give me an option like that to convert it into another language. And what about translation? I mean, translation because it's a travel blog, so it's more writing a story. So translation may just kind of screw it up.
Get out of Weebly. You're not going to make any money with Weebly. You never will. You can live the rest of your life hoping, but you'll never make money in Weebly. The only way that you can actually make money is when you host your own website. Don't go with GoDaddy. Don't go with cheap hosting. That's horrendous. Find a hoster like Bluehost, which is dedicated only to WordPress, for example, or look at a VPN or something like that. Shift all your stuff. WordPress is a free-to-use content management system. 90% of the sites are built using WordPress today. If you go and look at statistics, public domain statistics. So the question arises, why isn't yours? WordPress gives you translation. Now, what the lady brought up, I'm saying translation. Remember, I'm a marketer. Okay, I'm a techie, but I'm also marketing. Translation. She said, you've got to be careful. You've got to know the language. Because when you have simple, straightforward software translations, some of the sentences are hilarious. And they're only understood by the person who's reading. So if you're catering to a market, let's say you're catering to Italians, or you're catering to the Germans, I suggest you buy a translator, or you get a translator to come in and say, 80% of the translation is done, please correct all the grammar, that sort of stuff. And if that market is giving you money, then spending a percentage, if you put say 10% of that money or 15% of that money to actually give you that quality, you will see business happening.
And how much does it cost to have your own this thing for your site, your site?
Well, like I said, I use a couple of VPNs. The own servers are pretty expensive. The own servers, the ones that I use, are about $150 a month. So I wouldn't recommend that. But if you look at a VPN, it's about $50 tops per month, $600 a year. And if you fish it out, you will get pretty good VPNs in about $35-40. Now when I look at a differential only $10 a month, $120 a year, I'll go for the best VPN. And if you look at Bluehost, dedicated cloud hosting on Bluehost, it should be $7 a month. In that, less than $7 a month. Because I've got sites on all of these. Yeah.
Right now I
So the other guys get a question.
right now I use Bluehost and I have a travel blog.
Okay.
So for travel blog, I was asking my photos which I use are normally heavy photos. So I was considering is CDN required for it?
Is?
CDN.
A CDN required.
Yeah.
There are two things that you can do. One thing I suggest that you do very rapidly is take a picture with your mobile phone or your camera or whatever you want to take. It will be a humongous picture. Put that into Photoshop. You don't have to do anything. You got to open it in Photoshop and save it with a 72 dpi. Now, Photoshop does this automatically. If you don't know how to do it, it's a 1 second learning. Come to my home, I'll show it to you. If you don't want to do that, load up your laptop, I'll take TeamViewer, and through TeamViewer I'll do it on your laptop and I'll show you how the hell to do it. So all you do is you open the raw photograph in Photoshop and then save it with 72 dpi. Okay, you will get almost the same clarity, but your file size will reduce breathtaking. So that's normally the solution. Now, if you want to go one step further, you can take that picture that has reduced and scrunch it using something like SNUSH, smush it. And don't take the original picture and do it because you'll get bugger all over it. Let's say a 1 GB, 2 GB picture will come down to maybe 40 kilobyte, 30 kilobyte.
Photoshop has a save to web feature. That
Yeah.
is the same thing.
Or save to web, okay.
Yeah.
I will still scrunch it to 72 dpi and then save to web. Yes. So, I mean, that will reduce your. So I finished. Yeah.
Some hosting websites they provide unlimited space and all. So is there any hidden conditions behind that?
To the best of my knowledge, every single hoster provides you unlimited space. The cheapest real estate is hard disk space. So there's no, to answer your question, there is nothing. There's no catch in that. They actually give you that kind of space. Anybody else? Yeah.
Question on, you said customer persona, right?
Yeah.
So for the new guy, what should be a reasonable time frame? Just from the perspective of having a deadline in mind, how much efforts or time should one invest in building it?
I get a lot of these questions.
मेहनत का बहुत
You know, I get a lot of this question. How much time will it take to create a persona? You know, before you kick off, you know, what's the time? A lot of bloggers talk to me like that. There's a very simple reply to that. How much of time will you spend to put $2,000 into your bank account? 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, 16 hours a day. Tell me.
it depends.
No, it doesn't depend. You're getting $2,000. Let's make it $5,000 into your bank account. That's $60,000 a month. $60,000 a year, $5. How much time will you spend to generate that kind of money?
Maybe a new guy would take 6-7 hours a day.
There's your answer. To generate that kind of money, your copy, image, videos, and podcast must be mapped to your persona. So you will spend initially 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You know, I switch on my laptop at about 8 in the morning. I might have been awake till 1, 2, 3 in the night. Religiously, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I switch it off at about 9, 9:30 in the night. Then I'll switch it on again at about 12:31 because that's when all the goras are awake. You know the number of hours? And I'm 65. What do you bitch about? Yes.
Another thing is that one thing is Google AdSense doesn't work. That's right. And second thing is that Amazon has something wherein you have a word and then you have a link which goes to an Amazon product and then they give you money. So does that really work?
Ma'am, I'm not dealing with affiliate marketing. That's an affiliate marketing question. I would love to deal with it. It's a topic for another day.
Okay.
There is money in it. There is money. Oh man, there is money in it. But it's not every blog site or every website that will generate money. there are tweaks and things that you need to do. I mean, if you look at the Goras that are making money, via their website, don't get ambition. Look at a Gora that's making about $1,000 a month or $500 a month. A lot of them put it out on the net. They show you excerpts from PayPal and stuff like that. So it's public domain stuff. And you sit and track that guy for about 15, 20 days. What are the blog posts that come out? Where do they come out? What are the social scenes? And then you're able to figure out the kind of effort that guy's putting in to get his $1,000 a month. But at the end of the day, it's income to him, and it's amazing income to an Indian. I honestly believe there shouldn't be a single person in the group that doesn't earn $500 a month. If you've got 1,500 regular visitors to your site, I'm not talking about registrants, I'm talking about regular visitors, repeat visitors that keep coming to your site, I think you should be making anywhere between $200 to $500 income per month. If you're not, maybe you're not looking at that as a revenue stream. Anyone else? Thank you for your patience.
What is your fees? What consultancy?
If it's a simple thing, I'll give it to you free. Come on, there is a Facebook group I run called Digital Marketing Training Mumbai. Almost all the webinars and the training sessions, social media marketing, social media advertising are free. The only thing is I conduct them on Sundays and I conduct them in my home. So my home can take about 12 people comfortably.
Come on guys, let's give again a big round of applause. We would like to give like a small gift to Ivan for coming down and sharing his expertise.
Shouldn't have. You need to take a photograph. give him a moment of joy. And I always stand next to good-looking ladies. They are not. Thank you. Thank you. Can I keep them inside?
Yeah.